Hello, I'm Joshua Kennedy, and you're watching Annal-yze. I've asked our guests today to go through the annals of their music history and pick one of their favorite songs to discuss what makes it special to them. Today, we've got Jason Garza in the studio. Hey, Jason.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm so blurry.
Yeah, he's got a case of blurs. It's very serious, but treatable. Yeah, so Jason's my little brother. That's how I know him. I don't, again, same thing I said to Jessica. I don't believe I was there in the delivery room, but I wouldn't remember anyways because we're only 2.5 years old. So that was before I was remembering stuff.
Yeah. Well, you
This,
were four, but okay. Yeah.
what?
You were four.
I was 4?
Yeah.
How, wait, how much older am I than you? Apparently I've forgotten.
4 years older.
Am I 4 years
Oh,
older than you?
yeah.
Well, no, like, okay, 3.5. I said 2.5, but it's 3.5.
Yeah.
Because, okay, yeah. Because we did, I even thought about that the other day. I was like, we're 2.5 years ahead. And then I was like, but then we would have went to school together.
No, it's always like you
Yes.
graduate high school, I
Yeah.
go into high school, I graduate high school,
Right.
goes
Because
into high
you're a September baby, so you were old for your grade. And I'm
Yeah.
an April baby, so I was young for my grade.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.5 years apart, so I don't remember shit about you first coming into existence. I think like the first memory I have of you is us playing in the backyard, just like with like action figures or trucks or something like that. What
Yeah.
comes to your mind? I was gonna say the sandbox, right? Like that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Not that good at times. We did
That's
not
where
get
that's
along.
where mom tells me that you taught me the birds and the bees as a little kid.
Yeah, because I just learned. Because
Yeah.
I heard somebody say the word sex, and so I'm like 5 or 6, and like I ask mom what it is, and she tells me, and I'm like, I fucking gotta tell Jason
Yeah, I'm
about
guessing
this.
too.
Yeah, and I think you cried
Jason,
or
you
like,
got to learn about this.
I mean, put yourself in my shoes, right? Like being a little older, like old enough to, I don't know, like engage with that concept in more of a way, but not old
Mommy
enough
and
to know
daddy.
not to tell your little brother. Like
Yeah.
maybe you're not the right time or place to deliver that information, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's some of the earliest memories I have of you. So that's how we know each other. Why don't you let me? I mean, I already know, but let the audience know what your musical background is, so that they can kind of contextualize the song you chose today and the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so musical background, and I don't know how much you have already like spoke about this, but like grew up in a household where mom like didn't really listen to music at all. She's very strange about it. She had like a few things that she listened to, but she's never like I want to like actively listen to music unless it was just a top radio station while she was gardening. Dad listened to a lot of like 70s and 80s, like Michael Jackson, Duran Duran,
The
that whole,
Police.
the police,
Hmm.
that whole thing.
And like older rock too, like classic rock. Like he had the Zeppelin collection, he had Pink Floyd albums, so he was in someone into like the older classic rock too. But yeah, very much
Like
into
he was like
like
very anti like hair rock. Like
yeah, yeah,
he didn't like some of the big hair metal from the 80s and stuff. So he was like
right.
with me poppy, synthy
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
He liked like Culture Club.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
he also had Paranoid by Black Sabbath, which is one of the ones that I started listening to at a young age. So like he was like I think maybe less into that stuff, but his tastes were very broad. Like he like had some other albums that were like kind of out of the blue stuff. So which was great for us growing up. We got to pick a lot of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I just saw him a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how some of the music that he listened to growing up, like he was almost like picked on to a degree by like you know the Biffs of the world, like um,
Yeah,
and just kind of like because it was like gay music
right.
back in the day,
Because new wave
and
disco and shit
he,
was gay. Yeah, for
oh
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah, like
yeah.
Duran Duran, what the hell? And but now it's like you go to 80s night at Barbarella's in Austin, and it's like that's all the stuff that they play, and that's like what
Absolutely.
nowadays like more I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I feel like our generation appreciates that a lot more than like Poison or Kiss or like Def Leppard. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
some of that stuff's kind of fun. I've always thought it mostly sucked, personally. But some of it's kind of fun. But I don't feel like our generation connects with that in the same way as like the dance music and the world music influence that kind of came out of the 70s and 80s and new wave and shit. Like that has just carried the test of time a lot better than hair metal and shit.
Yeah. Like going back to like Gary Newman and all that kind of stuff. And I think that has shaped a lot of the music that I listen to because I started getting into like, I mean, I guess when I was a little kid, I was more into like Modest Mouse and Death Cab for Cutie and
Yeah, indie rock in the early 2000s, like
yeah,
lots of indie rock stuff that was
the
great,
whole
really good
Phoenix,
stuff.
MGMT.
Yeah, well, that was like just a few years later, right? When it shifted from a more like folky, acoustic-driven kind of thing, which was really popular, and then they're like, well, wait a second, we can make this fun. It doesn't have to be sad music. We can do like poppy synthy stuff, like like Phoenix and
Edward Sharp's Magnetic Zeros.
Oh yeah,
is
Fleet Foxes, yeah.
So like I listened to all of that indie stuff, which I mean, growing up in like rural Indiana was like there wasn't a radio station that played that. Like I felt like I had to go out of my way to find it.
Oh yeah.
And I remember talking to like people here in Austin, and they would play a song and be like, that was in any of those bands that I just said. And they're like, oh, this was on the radio all the time. And I'm like, are you
right?
serious?
In
like,
Austin, yeah, of course it was. In fucking Austin.
You? Like,
yeah, I know.
I had to listen to freaking Billy stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of butt rock and
lots of butt rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then top 40 stuff too, which like, and I can go back and find little pieces of all that I still enjoy or I thought was good, but mostly it was trash. Like we lived in a place that had trash culture. Like there was nobody gave a shit about art, nobody gave a shit about music. It's like that's just part of being in a rural area.
Strangely enough, we did have like a cool little like music scene for like.
Yes, we did. I think. Yeah, like our generation.
You participated in.
Yeah, I hugely participated in. Yeah, I think it was like that's what happens when you want more music than your parents have. You just have to make it because we don't have a cool radio station. Yeah, you just like that was kind of it. Was like well we had the internet. That's the big difference, right? So like we could find stuff and listen to it and get inspired by this stuff, but there were no concerts. We were in the middle of a fucking cornfield, right? And like there wasn't this active participation in that kind of thing like you can feel in a bigger place with people.
You can go down to Indianapolis and catch Kelly Clarkson at the state fair.
Yeah.
Did first concert.
That was Kelly Clarkson at the state fair.
State fair.
I mean, I would see Kelly Clarkson.
I want to say it was like 5th grade.
Yeah, so, I did. I remember that actually. Now that you say it, I remember you going to that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Kelly Clarkson. I was pretentious even at a young age.
I was like very excited because I thought that she was gonna play this song that I knew and I liked. I was like, I know one song of hers, right? Turns out Kelly Clarkson doesn't even sing the song that I wanted to. And I don't even remember what the song was. I think it was like
Mandy Moore or some shit.
Does she sing Miss Independent?
No, Miss Independent.
Wait, I don't know. I thought that was Kelly Clarkson when I was in the 5th grade, and I was so upset when she didn't actually play it because she doesn't play it.
It's not her fucking song. It'd be weird if she covered it. It's her contemporary. It's not like some old classic. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, state fairs. The only thing that came to Indiana when we were younger. There's a little more now, as there is kind of everywhere in America. But back then, the only thing that we had was a punk scene and like a hardcore scene because we did get Warped Tour. Warped Tour was coming through Indiana, and I don't know when it started, but I feel like it was always there, like at least from as early as I could remember.
I went 2007, 2009, and 2011.
9, 10, and 11?
No, 7, 9, and 11.
2007, 9, and 11. We were both there, 7. That was the one time we were both there. We were different groups.
Yeah, I would say I believe that we're in complete. I don't even.
Yeah, but I remember because I remember seeing Colton and Brandon and you. That was the year Coheed was there. We saw Coheed. And Thursday.
Kinda.
And Chiodas,
I was
right?
so excited to see Coheed. But Brandon got like heat stroke
Oh my god.
before
He
Coheed
would.
even started because we were standing in line for Coheed so long.
Yeah.
His ass ended up at the medical tent, and
Oh,
I didn't
that's
get to
right.
see Coheed.
Oh man, bummer, dude. That sucks. Well, yeah. So that year also had Chiodos though, so you probably saw them.
Well, I saw
Um,
Chiodos twice,
yeah, and
and I went backstage at Chiodos once.
nice.
Um, yeah, that was really cool. One was like a flogging Molly was a great time. I think
Yeah,
I
Froggy
wasn't
Molly's
into
great.
it, but Red Jumpsuit Apparatuses there one year, and like
Yeah,
friends that were going crazy with Red Jump. Um,
yeah. There was
like
there.
that's the other form of music that I did listen to for like a short period of time, where I was listening to like the Sound of Animals Fighting and the Fall of Troy, and a little bit of like I don't know.
It's all prog, but then it's also like hardcore and metal. Like Between the Buried and Me, like you and I
Under
were both
Oath,
very into that. Under Oath, yeah,
and then like the Mars Volta.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that was the area where you and I were vibing on the same shit the hardest at the same time. It was like it was those early years of my high school through like the later years of your high school career. So like those 6 or 7 years, because like you said, Modest Mouse and the first time I spent my money to buy music was I got Modest Mouse Good News for People Who Love Bad News and the Mars Volta Francis the Mute. I picked them both up at a Best Buy, and then that shit was just in my fucking stereo in my room over and over and over again. Those two albums, like blasting that shit. Oh, and we should also mention one of your favorite albums and one of my favorite albums of all time, So Much for the Afterglow by Everclear.
So the whole like Everclear, like Yellow Cards Ocean Avenue, Blink 182 self-titled.
Blink 182 self-titled is very good, and I don't even
uh,
like them. I don't really like Blink 182, but the self-titled is fucking awesome.
The self-titled is really
It's
good.
very good.
But then it gets a little more broad that you don't really know if like you can really put it in like Weezer and stuff. Like it's
Yeah, because it started like I had Dookie at a very young age, so like that was the first. Yeah, that was the first punk rock album that got blasted full volume in really home. Like David wasn't really into punk like that, but that was where I took over because like he was the right age to not like punk, and I was just at the young enough age to start liking punk. So like we got to like bridge that little gap there between he and I. So I carried that torch, and he bought it for me because he knew like I saw him on MTV. I was like, that song's fucking awesome. Basket Case. I was like, that's fucking awesome. I want whatever that is. I was like 10, like 9 or 10, and he got it for me, which is fucking rad. So yeah, so we like I was blasting punk in the house, and then it makes sense. Like Green Day was kind of honestly like the foothold that I would say led all the way to like Between the Buried and Me. Like it was the only thrashy thing. You know, he was the first like thrashy thing. You're like, oh cool.
I felt like my like punk scene was like kind of limited for me. Like I listened to just a little bit, and I didn't go outside of that. I very quickly like transitioned. Like I never got into like some of the like more I want to say like classic punk of like the Misfits and
and honestly I don't either. The Green Day is as old as it gets for me, like in true punks or whatever will be like Black Flag, Misfits and stuff like that, and I think a lot of it sucks. Again like I feel like they just needed like time to kind of grow that art, and I'm glad that they did what they did, and like I like thrasher music now than I used to, so maybe I should give that stuff another shot, but you know there's a lot of music.
I listened to it for just a very short amount of time, and immediately kind of went to a little more like either like prog or like mathy.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like
pop punk too, like Say Anything. Jesse threw out Say Anything when we did her episode. Her and I were all really into that.
That one album.
Yeah. In Defense of the Genre.
Songs on it.
Yeah, super good. The double disc, right? Or no, is that in Defense of the Genre?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that shit, I need to listen to that again, because that's like
really
creative music.
When I was like this old.
I know, yeah. It's super creative. Like, it's such a diverse album. I'm going to listen to it again. Next time I go on a long bike ride, I'm just going to start it, because it is a double disc, right? Like, it's like you said, like 40 fucking songs. Yeah. I gotta listen to that again. It's been a long time. So, like everybody fortunate enough to have parents that are into music, like we got fed a lot of stuff from David, and then I was also like taken from stuff from Todd too, and some of that stuff made its way into our lexicon a little bit.
And whatever you learned funneled down to me.
Yeah, it's always doing that. Like another good example, like something that I was more into because of Todd. Like we listened to Dr. Demento like a lot, which is the comedy radio show that was on when I was a kid. And like Weird Al and shit. Like that's why I got into Weird Al, was because I heard it on Dr. Demento and I was watching MTV and stuff too. So that I played that all the time. Still really fucking love comedy music. But yeah, at a certain point, as everybody does, right? Like you're getting all this information that other people are feeding you, and at a certain point, you start taking steps beyond that. You know, like if you're like a real lover of music, which I think you are, like because I remember a turning point where we'll say I left for college, and then I stopped living at the house. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And when I came back, you had started doing this. You found this is Blalock's Indies playlist.
Blalock's Indies
right?
playlist.
Yeah, talk about that, because I think that was one of the coolest things. I didn't have something.
Yeah,
like that. You're the first person I knew that did something like that.
Shaped how I listen to music a lot. I want to say I started in 2009.
Right after I left school. Right after I graduated high school.
What it was like a monthly playlist. So it'd be like July 2009. And then like each month, and then at the end of the year they'd be like best of 2009. And I listened to it for probably like 2.5 years, 3 years. I tried as much as I can. Problem is, there's like each playlist had like 120 songs.
Yeah.
Indie songs.
Right.
And most indie sucks. Like,
yeah.
Like, let's get honest. Like,
it's a lot of people in a lot of garages just like trying to be talented and like make something listenable. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they would pull these little things, but like there was so much music that I found from there that would later blow up. So I would just be like, it definitely fed that. I listened to them before.
Oh, indie cred. Oh, yeah. No, liking it before it's cool. Ooh, that's a sweet treat when you get to pull that out. I whipped that out the very first episode of this show on Jessie because she likes Caliucci's, and I was like, yeah, I remember I was listening to Caliucci's, like, and it wasn't until her first hit. Like, I didn't get her EP or anything like that, but people like totally slept on Riding Around, and I was like, this is awesome. What are you people talking like? And so I got a little cred off that one, but yeah, so that was the first time where I came to you and I was like, what are you listening to? You fucking tell me, like, and you started feeding me shit from that too, and it was great because you were a reliable filter, because like you said, a lot of Blalock's like wasn't good music, like stuff you had. It was a and that's what it is. It's layer after layer of filter until like you can get something refined, which is like that's kind of what this show is about. That's kind of why I love having these kind of conversations, because once you kind of like. In the same way, like it doesn't mean like a person doesn't have to have a good or like a taste of music that aligns with your own to be useful, because you can be like, oh, if like I had Brixton Carruthers on, and she's a metalhead, and so if she tells me she doesn't like this new funk band, I'm like, that means nothing to me. Like that's not what you listen to. So, and she wouldn't give a shit about that, but like. All I mean is that like you can still, if you know someone else's filter or like am familiar with it, you can learn a lot, even if it's like as a counterexample or like knowing what to take from them. Like if you recommend hip hop, I'm on it. Like I know that you like hip hop, and I like I can't think of anything that I don't like Logic as much as you. I don't think, right? You like Logic, but like that's one fucking example.
His albums have not been great, but like I do like a lot more.
But like that's one out of like 50 artists, 60, 100 artists, like hip-hop artists that you and I both really, really enjoy. So, So
well, I guess that's the last phase of my music is when I left for college, like freshman year. I had a friend who like just sent me a playlist. He called it like Slimy Grimy or something like that. And it was just like maybe 15 hip-hop songs on it. And I was like, oh, I like this now. Because, I mean, we grew up in a place where people are like, rap is crap.
Oh, yeah. Straight up racism.
Oh yeah.
like
Like
unabashed.
literally the only thing that only rap that people liked was like, you know, that Eminem fella.
Yeah, I wonder why. Why do you think that is, Jason? That's
I don't know.
weird. I actually made that joke the other day. I was at a barbecue at my buddy's, as at Phil's place, and I made some joke, and the punchline was like, you know, the same way Eminem made it okay for me to like hip hop.
Yeah.
But it's true. That was Eminem was the first hip hop that I got into because I'm white and it was rural America and I was like allowed to like that, encouraged to not like black people and the music that black people made. But thankfully early on I did branch out because Dustin Altman liked hip hop. He had 50 Cent, he had Nelly, he had Ludacris and DMX. And I was like, this shit's
I know
really
you
good.
love Ludacris. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean all that shit. Like
Yeah.
all that shit I'm very into. Like those are some absolute bangers that like late 90s, early 2000 hip hop. There's so much good stuff in there. But I didn't like.
I mean, Outkast.
Outkast.
I like even before I like hip hop, but like that's all.
Yes. Yeah, because that was another one that I think Mom and David I guess bought for me because Hey Ya was such a huge hit and like everybody loved it so much, and I like we in the house all loved it, and so they got that album for me for Christmas. Speakerbox Love Below. That would have been the first hip hop album that would have been blasted in our house like over and over and over again.
and like by years.
Yeah.
Like I think it was years after before I was even like really listening to hip hop. Like that predates my actual listening to hip hop by many years.
Yeah, me too. Because I didn't have any other hip hop albums. That was it. It was Speakerbox is a hip hop album, and then the Love Below has a lot of hip hop in it. But yeah, and when I say I liked Eminem, I mean like it would come on MTV and I really liked it. I never had any albums. I didn't like follow him. I wasn't like a fan per se. So yeah, Outkast would have been the first hip hop group that I was a fan of. And then there was like, I don't think there was like any fucking hip hop in the house, which doesn't surprise us, right? Like our parents aren't into hip hop, like middle of a cornfield. Yeah. So that's just kind of what it was like there, unfortunately. But yeah. So what was the first hip hop stuff you got into in college? Cause I started to get into that too in college.
I mean, I think Tyler the Creator was definitely like, the first, which then like osmosis into the whole like Odd Future gang.
Right.
I was like really into like Demogenesis, like in Casey Veggies and stuff. So I really like
Earl, of course.
Yeah, Earl, but I feel he was just always. I feel like he never came out with his first hit.
More features than anything. Yeah.
So. Yeah, there was like that, and then like really early, I was like, I mean, I feel like the entire time I've liked hip hop, it's been like Future and Freddie Gibbs, and like some of those people. I mean, I like Drake a lot. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I know you shit on Drake. You're not a huge Drake fan.
Not a Drake fan, but Hotline Bling is a very, very good song.
He's probably got the best like hip hop discography if you were to just take his individual
just singles. Songs. Yeah, like his greatest hits would be really, really good. I believe that for sure.
And I got into Kanye, and I was really into Kanye's first 3 albums, but as time has gone on, I just and I think that's an entirely. That's a whole
podcast. That's a whole series of episodes.
But
people
also,
talk a lot about
think
that
other
guy.
people can understand already. Like I don't think that needs too much explanation.
It's curious to me, but I never liked Kanye. I guess for me, like I said, Outkast was first, and then the first thing I got into from college, it was one of the first records that was in our place. It was again Dustin Altman bought Mad Villain. Bought that album. That was fucking on deep rotation for us for a long time, and that was when I also
like Foods a lot.
That was also when I jumped back in time and got into Wu-Tang and Beastie Boys, and that's like my sort of foundational stuff is Wu-Tang and Beastie Boys, and that's because my buddy Dylan from college was really like he's from California, he's from LA, right? So like he was in a place that experiences a shitload of hip hop, so he got to share some of his favorite stuff with me, and of course like I fell in love with hip hop and still do listen to a lot of hip hop. So yeah, that I guess college was similar for us in that way. So what about lately? What's been on your playlist lately?
So, um, like very, very recently, within the last few weeks, I have felt like I don't actually have the thing that I'm listening to at the moment. I've been listening to like lots of individual songs that I like, but I don't have like an album on rotation. I don't have a band on rotation.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
left
either.
me feel a little bit lost. Like
Yeah,
I
I know
don't.
that feeling very well. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's frustrating because like you feel like there's this unmet desire, right? Like you want to have this thing that you like. Like me into every Death Grips album that comes out. I'm just like, oh, just like obsessed with it and just like blasting it constantly because it's an exciting experience, like to be so enriched by something that you love so much. But I will say I've very recently, taken to starting to make playlists on Spotify, which like I haven't made playlists since I was a little kid. Like I never did it. I never did it in high school, never did it in college, except like once or twice for a party or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But it wasn't something I didn't curate. I've never been much of a curator. But I started curating some playlists, and so I've got this dance music playlist, like really modern, new dance music that's like European and like world dance and some Latin stuff and some American stuff. It's cool. Like I think it's really cool. It's very funky, very disco dance style stuff. Not like trap, which I like trap and bounce and stuff like that too. But yeah, that with those genres, I kind of know who I like already. But like with dance, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of dance artists are just like, I made this one really good song, and like that shit's gonna get played over and over and over again at like cooler clubs, like not top 40 shit, but like cooler clubs are gonna play that kind of thing. And so yeah, I've been curating that, and I like it a lot. So you should check it out because we're friends on Spotify. So
I've been doing the playlist thing recently, and I think because I use Spotify, I know you use Apple Music, right?
No, I'm on Spotify. Jessica's the one that's on Apple Music.
Yeah, so with Spotify, you will like listen to an album, and I'll like listen to all of Malibu by Anderson .Paak.
So good.
And then when that ends, it'll be like, here's a song by Sir, and here's a song by Masego, and here's like a Terrence Martin song, and I will like them as I the songs, right? And so I have like this huge playlist of like every song that I like. It's got like 3,000 songs on it.
Yeah, you've been active in the like game, so like you can pull up your liked songs and see like tons of good shit.
Well, I have sub playlists too. I mean, I have like 60 playlists.
Jesus,
mostly
that makes sense. You've been more of a curator. You tend to
mostly based off years they came out. The music came out. But like if I don't know what to listen to, I'll just like either shuffle my like playlist, or I'll just like listen to my like most recent tops on my like playlist. Problem with curating playlists is I don't get the satisfaction of like starting an album from start to end.
Yep.
And I find myself like Terrence Martin, I like him, but it's like I listen to the 3 songs by Terrence Martin 400 million times. It's like how much like Terrence Martin do I know? Or like, and I kind of get so glued into the few songs I know that a part of me is like I don't even want to like try other parts of it. It's just like I want to just keep rotating those 3 songs.
I get it, man. It's I mean, on one breath, like you don't need encouragement to do this, but I'm just gonna say like I do encourage you to check out that person's full album. I don't know who that is, but dude, making one good song is really hard. Making a good album is insane. It's like my life goal. Like I don't like literally that is my life goal. If I can make a good album, that would be fucking insane. Like I don't even mean like great, you know what I mean? I just mean like good. That album's good. Like that I could die happy. I'm gonna die happy either way. But that is kind of like my life goal. So like it's on one breath, it's like man, I really wish there was more of this. On the other hand, it's like it's hard. Like that's really fucking hard to do. I'd have to look. I think the album, oddly enough, the album that I think has come up for me most recently that I have listened to the whole thing is actually Secret Band. That LP2 hits really fucking hard. But that's 2019, I think. That's like old at this point in modern parlance. It's old. I don't know, man. We also don't have. We need to get. Listen, you're a grad student again. Make friends with some undergrad kids who are just like churning through this shit. You know what I mean?
I am currently school online. I don't know people.
That makes sense.
People.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for new music. So I don't know. Like Spotify has that new music section or whatever, but I don't know, man. I think part of it is also like there is like modern music is being made in different ways, and people you don't make money off album sales anymore. And we haven't for a while. Like
even like Tyler the Creator, he's just dropping Lucy's left.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's this man, I'm not gonna be able to remember the name, but there's this song I really like that I keep listening to, and I went to that artist's page, and they just have like 9 singles. Like that's it. Like, and it's and in like 4 years also, it's like 9 singles. Yeah. So like I don't know, but there is something special about making a whole album that is like clipping has clip and the most
or like these little like 2 or 3 songs that are like I don't know, like an LP or
EPs. Fetch for us the bolt cutters, or fetch the bolt cutters. Fetch the bolt cutters. I was thinking catch for us the foxes. But yeah, fetch the bolt cutters is really fucking good. So I mean, people are still doing it, but
for sure. Like
but it's not. But
also, I mean, there are more really musicians now than ever. So it's like,
tell me about it. You're a Kurt Vonnegut fan. Do you remember reading in the foreword for one of his books? He talks about how like maybe God or evolution or whatever built us for like the size of groupings we would have like when we first evolved, like maybe max like 110, 120 people would be like your little village or whatever. And his thing was like, because you could pick any 120 people, and I don't know if he was really saying this, but his point was basically like, you pick any 120 people, I'm probably the best fucking writer there. And I'm the same way. Like, if I could easily pick 120 people and be the best musician, but I'm not competing against 120 people. I'm competing against millions and millions and millions of people who are fucking amazingly talented. And so it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, we get to experience all this beautiful music. On the other hand, as a creator, it's a mental and kind of emotional, like it's a psychological gap to get over, to be like, how am I gonna stand out among all this beautiful shit? But I'm here for it. Like I would take that over anything else. So
I've been recently, like I said, I've been kind of chill stuck. I don't know what I'm listening to. So I've been going through and just randomly listening to different albums that I like. Mm-hmm. So I'll listen to, like, in a single day, I'll listen to like a Shin's album, and then I'll do like a Bad Bad Not Good album. I'll listen to like a Freddie Gibbs album, and then like a Billy Talent album.
Shit, I just listened to Billy Talent the other day too.
Billy Talent,
really good.
Billy Talent's really good.
And there's nobody like Billy Talent.
Billy Talent too is really good.
It's super good, and nobody sounds like that. Literally nobody sounds like Billy Talent. It's one of the most interesting bands. I love their shit.
And so that's what I've been doing, is just like, because I work from home and I don't like do Zoom calls. So I can just listen to music for like 8 hours a day.
Right.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah, my recent going back in time to touch some other stuff was, I think it was after that episode that I did with Brixton, because I was like listening to a little bit of metal, because she'd picked a metal song, and then I shared with her a secret band song. And it just like sparked, you know what I mean? And so I made a playlist with like Fall of Troy, He Is Legend, Under Oath, like just all that shit, just rip assing stuff. And I've been playing drums to it because it's so fucking fun to play drums to. And I've been playing bass to the dance music, right? Because that's fun there. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been into lately. But all right.
Sorry, one more thing. When it comes to metal music, I am incapable of learning metal.
You think you hit your threshold? Like your lifetime max?
I think it's partially because it's just like not my overall vibe, but I'm fueled by nostalgia for the things that I already know.
Right.
I'm incapable of learning anything else. But I'll do it, I'll be like, why are they shouting so much? You know, like,
I get that.
You know, and I'm just like, but I can listen to the stuff that I already like.
Yeah, but remember, you were in a place once where that was appealing. And life is strange. Maybe you'll end up in another spot another time where you're like, I need some more metal. I haven't gotten there. I also only listen to shit I used to. I mean, Secret Band is new, but it's made by people who I'm already familiar with, like Will Swan. Like, I knew his older shit. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was also, music just any kind of art, you know, there's trends, there's phases that this stuff goes through where like this is popular or people moving this in this direction. And maybe I'm just ignorant. I mean, I'm certainly ignorant about a lot of music, but I would like to find someone who knows more about like what is metal doing now that's different that I'm not aware of, because I think that'd be cool to find. So yeah, I think it's just like, you know, like anything else. Maybe in 10 years the best fucking metal ever made will come out, because it always cycles in. So
yeah.
All right, that was good. We know a lot about your music now. So tell us about the song you picked, what you picked, why you picked it, and you know, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I recently moved to Chicago, right? Well, last August now, time flying. And I moved in with my two buddies, Joe and Sid. And they are, I mean, they're pretty much weebs.
I didn't know that about them. Were they?
Oh,
were
yeah,
they? Because everybody's from college, right? You've known them for a while.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I've known them for many years.
Yeah, I didn't think they were into anime back then.
So
maybe I just didn't know.
They watch so much anime.
Wow.
That they will often put on YouTube videos of like 50. It's like, name this person based off the shadow of their hair. And they'll be like, they'll know.
Yeah.
And they'll know it based off the songs, the starting songs.
Sure.
And like anime has like a different like intro song every season. So they're like,
yeah,
isn't that like season 4 of that show? You're like, I know that.
Shit.
Like
they went deep, yeah. Yeah,
so,
well, I mean, you're wearing a Pokemon shirt. That was the premise of the Name That Pokemon, right? Like they're doing that thing. But
I even, you know, I got the Japanese on this side or whatever. So,
hell yeah.
So I have, you know, integrated.
You're embracing that more too. Well, also, but we grew up with Trigun and Cowboy Bebop and Pokemon and DBZ and
some other things, you know,
Yu-Gi-Oh, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon.
Yeah.
So we grew up with that, but like, yeah, there's certainly like availability of anime now is insane. Like, there's so much even just on Netflix.
And all that.
Nonetheless, the dedicated services like Crunchyroll
and even like Netflix has been making so much anime. Like people
Castlevania's fucking good.
Yeah, like they've been making a lot of anime. So I started getting into anime. And, I declared myself last December a weeb in training.
That's congratulations. Welcome into the fold.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I actually looked to see if I had like an anime shirt, and I don't have an anime shirt, but I just didn't want to wear it. But it's actually one of my fat shirts from back when I was like way bigger. So I didn't want to wear it. It'd be like ballooning on me.
Yeah.
But it was, it's the, what is it? It's like the 42, it's like this series of very famous Japanese paintings. It's just like these waves. You've seen them. It's like everywhere. So I have,
yeah.
I think it's 42 of them, or like 36 of this series of wave paintings. But yeah, I have a shirt that has that on it. So that was the closest thing I had, but it doesn't fit me anymore. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've been getting into anime.
So I'm like just watching anime, like it's having a good time. Just this week, I got my Haikyuu hoodie in. So it's the volleyball anime.
Oh, okay, new to me.
It's a great show.
Wow, you're going real deep, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very popular. It's like one of the most popular shows that have been around for the last few years. But so I started watching this show called Yuri on Ice. It's about ice skating, and it's a gay boy anime.
Mm-hmm. Literally, it's literally it's like because
it is a gay.
It is literally
gay.
Explicit, like
yes.
which is big for Japan because like they're not very progressive in that way. So like there's able to be like a huge production value, like major release of an anime where is it just the main character that's gay or is it like everybody's gay?
So
like,
the show's only like 12 episodes, right? And
it's just one of those one season
one and done.
I like that. I should watch that. I like
it's really good. The
Everybody
animation
says so, yeah.
is incredible because I mean they're ice skating, right? So it's not like Dragon Ball Z fighting where it's just like up a cloud and you see just some fists pop out. Like this is like very artistically done. Did you play Persona 5 Royal or Persona 5?
Royal.
Okay, Persona 5, the original, the intro, they're like skating with just their, I mean, they don't have ice skates on, they're with just their feet
Yeah,
or
just
whatever
their shoes. They're just
around like
yeah.
a highway system, and it's all the red and black and all that kind of stuff. It's very strange.
Yeah, why that opening doesn't make any sense. Because I've got 120 hours into that game, and that doesn't line up for me. Because Royal had a different opening for that reason. Probably they were like, this isn't the best. But yeah, so it's a gorgeously animated. It's gay.
The person
it's
who
got ice skating.
The Persona 5 intro is the person who animated the Yuri on Ice intro.
Oh no shit! Cool.
Yeah. And this song is the intro to Yuri on Ice.
What's the name of the song?
So it is History Maker by Dean Fujioka.
So you love the show. Did you pick it just for the show, or like what? Tell us why you picked this song.
So first off, I just love the song. Like it is, to me, it's a great song. It's such an optimistic song. There's like bells and strings and some like horns going on. It's got it all.
It's a fanfare. That's like what it is. It is like this bright, shining, positive, powerful, motivational. This very motivational piece.
The words are so like easy to understand. It almost has like a show tunesy thing going on where like
it feels like a musical. Like it feels like music from a musical as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. It's this show that I really like, and it's kind of inspired me. Since I moved to Chicago, I like got into school. I started this new job. I feel a little bit on top of the earth right now. Like I feel like I'm doing really well, and this song just kind of makes me feel really good, like overall. And it's due to it. I went ice skating for the first time last week, and it was really fun. And I'm gonna keep doing it. And something that's I've always been terrified, like absolutely like I literally left Indiana because slipping and falling on ice is like the scariest thing on the planet. Like that's how
you break your neck.
Slip, fall, hit my head, and snow is going to cover me and die. And so it's always been something I'm terrified of. And you're dancing around on swords, and so I watched the show, and the music is great, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ice skating, and I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna go this coming weekend. It's gonna be a thing I do. My sister boulders, you boulder, you ice skate. You guys are shit.
I would say I cycle. That's the thing that I do. Like if we all had like one recreational thing, I did boulder today, but I cycle a lot. I always kind of have. I got Jesse into bouldering, and then this anime got you into ice skating, which is so fucking cool. Like, and when you sent me the song the first time I listened to it, I looked up. I literally put it into Spotify. As soon as you sent it to me, put it into Spotify, clicked it, and I was like, "Oh, this is definitely Yuri on Ice." I didn't know. I knew that you had watched the show, and I heard the music, and I've never seen the show. I was like, "This is definitely like the theme song for Yuri on Ice." I can definitely tell because it's so fucking powerful.
And I would say it's a good independent song. You know what I mean? Like,
that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. Was like the song in context and out of context, and how that's different.
To me, like I like this show. I thought it was really good. But I can't just like walk to Walmart watching the show. But I can listen to the music.
Yeah.
So like to me, the music I've been able to take from it and like incorporate in more of my life.
Yeah, I get you.
And like it's not my favorite song in the entire world. It's probably my favorite song of this year so far. But like to me, what is better than a song? Because you listen to millions of, I feel like you listen to thousands songs all the time.
Oh yeah.
But if you actually find a song that makes you do something, like actually take an action, then like
that's unique. There's not a lot of those.
More than its job.
Yeah, I think that maybe the easiest thing for people to relate to in that way is a song that like when you hear it, you must get up and dance. Like that's something that everybody can relate to. But I don't think most people have had that experience where they're like, this song made me ice skate. Like that is unique and powerful, and like it makes sense that this kind of song would like bring that out because it is so direct and so sincere and gorgeous. It's a gorgeous piece.
Mhm.
So outside of context, I will say it makes me want to watch the anime more, even though it's been it's been on my anime list for a long time, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And especially now that I know it's just one season, that makes me a lot more likely to like turn it on because I know I can just.
There's like rumor of like a second season eventually coming out, but
it ends satisfactorily. Like you don't need.
Yeah,
that.
it definitely is.
It was made to be one, whether it gets another or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. Not often that you hear something like that. As far as anime goes, I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the past like year as like a quarantine pickup for me. That shit's banandals. Like that's one of the strangest, coolest things like I've ever seen. It's truly bizarre. Like there's a reason why they put that word in the title. I'm not here to talk about that today. But have you watched JJBA yet?
So it was like, I actually.
You started it when you were here.
I was in Austin.
I know, yeah, we talked about it, and you were like, "What the fuck?"
And it was too much for me. I think now since I've watched more,
yeah,
I think I could handle it.
You can.
But I like these. I mean, I don't know. I just watched like 3 seasons of Attack on Titan over the last week.
Oh yeah.
So to me to saying these like gory fighting animes aren't necessarily as much my thing is obviously not true because I haven't watched those. But I really like slice of life a lot.
Yeah, lots of people do. Yeah.
And that's what Yuri is. So Mr. Osamatsu and like some of these, I just watched a show called Anohana. And I like a lot of these shows because they're like one season, right? So.
Yeah, so JoJo's has been the anime that I've been into. That's like Castlevania. I mean, that's an American show, right? But I think it's animated by Americans. I don't actually know who animates it, but anyways, pretty much it's written at least by Americans. So that I guess, and then but the only like Japanese thing I've watched in a while, like really ingested, was JJBA. But I did watch the first episode or the first season of Shield Hero. Everybody liked that. I thought it was pretty good. What's the title? So I got reincarnated as a slime. Is that the title?
Yes. So Joe's watching that.
It's good. That's good. That's like stupid. It's like it's very video gamey. They're both video game animes, right? They're like they're using the language and the culture of video games to weave this anime story. It's a lot of fun. It's stupid good fun. But yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is like aside from everything else. Like there's nothing like it. Like I've absorbed like a lot of media. I think I'm like kind of a pop culture fanatic. Like I've absorbed so much stuff. JoJo's is totally different.
Yeah, that's what people say. I watched like 2 episodes of it, and I was like, this.
Now that like you've gotten some like maybe your palate's a little more adjusted to just the way Japanese shows are or anime is, like give it another shot because it's very strange, very good.
Well, to segue, talk about adapting your palette. This is another thing that this song has done for me. So History Maker is a good song, but it's all in English. I started listening to some more of Dean Fujioka's stuff, and a lot of his songs are half English, half Japanese. And I started to do I got Spotify algorithm to where, I finish the end of an album and then I start getting recommended more Japanese music. And I kind of was on like a Japanese music kick for like 2 or 3 months.
Cool.
And I've just recently waned off of it. But because my history with Japanese music was always like Toe or like Tricot and like
Prague. Like Japanese prog or some jazzy stuff. Yeah. We've been into that for quite a while. Yeah.
Like the drumming is like insane.
Mouse on keys. Yeah. Insane shit. Highly talented like jazz influenced prog and like hardcore punk. Like Boris. At least I was really into Boris I fucking still listen to Boris. Shit like that rules. But yeah, that was our shared past with Japanese music. But I'm assuming now with the way this song sounds, it's gonna be more like J-pop.
Yeah, for sure. And I was trying to think because pop is such like a weird definition. I don't actually know if this is considered J-pop or not. Like
there's like a lot of words. It has a lot of different meanings. We'll suss out the context. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's so like kind of orchestral,
Hmm.
that I don't really know if it's like necessarily considered J-pop, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, when I think
It's
J-pop,
also
I do
done.
think something more like electronic based, but I also don't really listen to J-pop, so I
Yeah.
mean,
It's definitely so. Not only did it open up this activity that I realized that I kind of like now, um, but it's opened up another world of music that I didn't really participate
yeah,
in. And
that's
like
so
props
cool.
to Spotify algorithms for just force feeding me music that I like
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
But I've been listening to a lot of it. There's a band called Guessing No Kuwame Atome.
Oh yeah, you said that
Very,
to me.
very good.
Yeah.
And just like a lot of these little one hit, one off things that just is so like kind of optimistic and dancing.
Hmm.
Um, and then I went from that to like listening to optimistic dancing Mexican music with like Denver and stuff.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I don't know. I felt like I was definitely just doing my own little thing, and then I listened to this song, and it just kind of opened up a lot. And what else can you ask for from a song?
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Um, so I think anything else you want to say about that before we close out here with a couple other little tidbits? Right on. Thanks for picking it and thanks for sharing that with me. Like I'm gonna watch that show now for sure. Um, so we talked about this earlier. Do you have anything you want to plug before I get to the song that I chose to recommend based on your pick?
I don't like having like creative outlet that I do. I just have Instagram and I put a lot of videos of me playing with dogs and like playing volleyball and doing things like that and having a little fun life. So I'm the Garzilla, Thegarzilla. If anyone wanted to follow me, I don't know if there's anyone who watches this that doesn't actually already follow me, but
I've looked at the statistics so far on the like 7 episodes. We're catching some strangers. I mean, there's a few people who are
hey,
like,
please
hey,
follow
yeah,
me.
so
I'm fun.
yeah, so maybe some friendly internet stranger will follow you.
Yeah.
And they should follow me too. It's
Yeah.
my show.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of anime and inspirational anime, the song that I picked today to recommend based on History Maker is from the anime Carol and Tuesday, which is a Netflix anime. It is from the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Space Dandy. It is
So I think it's very like funky. Like
no, no, it is not actually. It's not. So the show is about these two young girls on Mars because it takes place in the sci-fi future, who are both trying to become musicians, like professional performers. It is slice of life in a sci-fi setting.
yeah.
And I haven't finished the show yet because every time I watch an episode, it is so emotionally affecting that part of my brain rejects it. And I have to say, I need some time away from this. And there's only 2 seasons, and the show's over. It's been out for a long time. I started the show like 2 years ago, and I haven't finished it because like it hits so hard for me as a person who is also trying to like be a musician and like make that happen. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's hilarious. The song that I picked is the end credits song for the first. It's like the first season of the show, but not the first episode. Maybe it's like you said, anime will swap songs for their intros and outros all the time. But the song is called "Hold Me Now." And so if you search "Hold Me Now" Carol and Tuesday, it'll come up. But the actual artists, I couldn't catch the name. It was spelled in Japanese, and I didn't know how to pronounce it. But there are Carol and Tuesday playlists available on Spotify. So if you just go there, you can look at some of it. This song, it's a gorgeous song. Like the song feels like what falling in love feels like. It is very, very open-hearted, mushy gushy, beautiful with this like kind of, but like not sappy, more like energetic, right? Like it's not like melting into something. It's like embracing. I mean, it's called "Hold Me Now," right? Like it feels like this like passionate embrace. It's gorgeous. All the music in the show is amazing. It's all pop music. Like it's pretty much straight up pop music, and there are also different artists whose music you get to hear in the show that aren't just Carol and Tuesday. Like Angela is has probably the second most songs, except for the titular heroines. And her shit's amazing. Like the people who work on the music for the show are fucking incredibly talented. So definitely watch the show. Definitely listen to Hold Me Now. If you're looking for something else, man, you should watch that. I mean, you like Cowboy Bebop. Did you watch Space Dandy?
I never did.
Okay,
No.
Space Dandy is really, really good. It's probably one of my all-time favorites. But this is a totally different direction. It's not goofy. I mean, it's funny. There's some comedy, but it's very sincere, very heartfelt, and just absolutely beautiful. I love the show a lot, and I will finish it one day. Like once I get the bravery to like to sit there and subject myself to these very deep feelings that this show helps bring out in me.
I mean, that was the last few, I want to say like maybe 2 seasons of BoJack Horseman, where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to take a break after.
Yeah, man. It's like that, except BoJack is a terrible person, and that's the show. Whereas Carol and Tuesday are just the best, and you just and so for me to watch BoJack, it was more like I felt more distance from the character because he's like a terrible monster, but still like a relatable human being horse. Where Carol and Tuesday are certainly less like 3-dimensional than the character the BoJack Horseman, because that show is really amazing at that, but more relatable in the sense of like they're these 2 young people who are essentially good people trying to be good people and like trying to be musicians, and like that is obviously something that I can really deeply connect with. So both great shows though, for sure. Death Grips is on an episode of BoJack Horseman. Did you know that? Yeah, the first season too. Yeah. I was like, oh, like when it came out. You never hear that. That is someone you never hear. The other thing they made it to was that the Battlefield game that I did not play, where you're cops. It's like cops versus robbers, which is very problematic. But the song "Hacker" apparently would come on if you were in one of the vehicles. When you get into a vehicle in those games, the music comes on the radio. Anyways. Yeah, the Hold Me Now is such a jam, and the music for that show entirely is good. Start it with the boys. If your boys haven't seen it, y'all sit down and like cry together. Like it is
I love crying with
beautiful.
The boys.
I love a good cry with the boys. Cracking open a cry one with the boys.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's great talking to you, man. I love you so much. We talk regularly anyways. We don't have to do any like formal sign off here, but it's great. Thanks for coming on the show. It's good
anytime I can come back or whatever. I'll have like a less weedy song, like a more maybe traditional one. And I got a lot of songs.
You are a 3-dimensional human being. You have a lot of interests. Like you're like that. You picked something so specific here. I think was a good choice because like. I don't know. No one else has picked an anime theme song. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's great. Someone will probably pick, like, a movie score. Or, like, I don't know. I got a lot of friends who are into a lot of different kinds of music, and you're one of them. So, like, yeah, you guys are going to be back on so that we can share the multiple facets of our stuff. Because that's the kind of people we are. That's the kind of people I have on this show are people who aren't just, like, well, I just listen to this. You know what I mean? People who are, like, who, like, dive into this shit. People who really get a lot out of it. And so spend their time thinking about it and searching for stuff and listening to it and sharing it. That's why we love the show. So it's good to see you, Jason. I'm sure we'll talk soon. Everybody watching, thanks for coming. Make sure to click the subscribe button below. If you would please like the video. Find the link to the Eraser Studios Instagram page below, as well as a link to our Patreon. You can consider becoming a patron to us. That'd be phenomenal. You would help me to continue to be able to do shows like this, to continue to spend time on my creative projects like making a solo album. Also, I have some collaborative stuff that's in the works, so hopefully going to be talking more about that soon. It'll be up on the Instagram when it happens, and it'll be on YouTube after a time. So really excited about it. We got some more stuff in the pipeline. Thanks for watching. Again, links below. Take your time. Take a click. Thanks, Jason, again. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.